Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes, it's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo-hoo. Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo-hoo. Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales, woo-hoo. The danger lurks behind you. There's a stranger out
to find you.
What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales. Woo-hoo. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Woo-hoo. Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. Woo-hoo. Not ponytails or cottontails, just DuckTales.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. So, welcome to Dose of D-Pad, the swag capital of the world. Today we have a special guest, Logan Hodges, the co-founder and lead film writer at our site at b10.com. And in case you've forgotten, this week is a very special episode of Dose of D-Pad, not only because it is our season finale, but also because we are giving away free Steam codes to the first few people who share this, who share the link to this podcast. So all you got to do is share. The only people this excludes is the people that work for the site already, and it's easy. It's if you're not one of the first few to share, then you share it still, then you can also receive a free Bangkok Blend T-shirt. Thanks to Brian Colleton for giving those away to us. And this week from b10.com, Pikmin 3 is releasing, as you may know already, and I'm planning on doing something for this. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm working on getting a gameplay podcast for next week with Pikmin 3. I know I'm getting it at launch. I gotta turn on a fan because it's hot in here. And I'm working on something. All I have is this Easy Cap. It's gonna be an outstanding looking standard definition when it releases. It's gonna be beautiful. It's like nothing we've ever seen. Oh my God, standard definition. And yeah, do you have anything to say, Logan, about this and about your appearance on the show today?
I'm just excited to be part of the Dose of D-Pad season finale. Don't really know anything about Pikmin. But I'm very glad to be on this podcast, and thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to have you on here. Can you speak for a second? Because I think I might have lost you, but I don't know.
Hello.
Oh, okay. I thought I had lost you, but I didn't. Skype is a weird thing. Anyway, this week's top ranking games of the week are the number one top ranking game from GameRankings.com this week is Shadowrun Returns on the PC. I've never heard of this at all, but it does maintain a 76.42% on GameRankings.com, and I guess it's good according to reviews. Number 2 is Cloudberry Kingdom on the Xbox 360. This is also available on Wii U and I believe PS3 and most likely Steam as well. It maintains a 68.75%. This game is a randomly generated level platformer that basically allows users. I mean, it's just a generic platformer, but it randomly generates levels, which is an interesting feature to have. Number 3 is Dota 2 on the PC. It's a free-to-play. Some scenes and some parts were a little too long, where it was where you're stuck in the dark, and it wasn't really. It didn't feel like a Naughty Dog game at that point. It felt too much. It felt too survival horror at points for me.
Right. It almost brought me back to Silent Hill Downpour. That game was extremely hard, And some of the points in The Last of Us actually reminded me of that game. You know, some points you have to find some things and you just don't know where they are, and that's what kind of threw me off about The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us, I had been expecting it for a long time. I found out about it when it was announced in 2011, and I had been waiting for it ever since. It was it was my most anticipated game ever for like a year, and I got a PS3 like a year ahead of time just to play this. I wasn't really much into gaming at the time, but I was interested in this idea and of cinematics being used wisely in video games and acting actually being good for once. And so the past week, mostly because of their lackluster sales with the Wii U. They've only sold 160,000 Wii U's globally in the past 3 months, which is incredibly low.
Yes.
Especially for a system, especially for a company that has sold one of the greatest, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, the original Wii, and
Exactly.
Software sales for the Wii U are only over 1 million units, and it's just Nintendo has said that if they have to stop selling consoles, they're going to stop selling games. Did you grow up with Nintendo?
I had the Super Nintendo from 95. I can't remember when it came out, but we had one in like 96 or 97, I think. I can't remember. I loved it very much. And then we had a Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. which the only game I played on that was 007 GoldenEye.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
That's the fondest memory I have of that machine. Was GoldenEye.
Yep. I know a lot of people got into GoldenEye. That was before my time, actually. The first Nintendo console that I had was the GameCube, but before that I had the Game Boy Advance. I was more into portable systems as a kid, so I didn't really play much of the GameCube or the PS2 that I owned. But I did grow up with Nintendo. I have a strange love for Nintendo, a passion for the games they make, but I do believe they should advance with the rest of the market. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure you're there. Yeah, so the Wii U did not the Wii U failing did not really surprise me, as I think Nintendo's become arrogant in recent months, and they're just doing everything wrong with their hardware and their software, with the launch lineup being awful. And what is your opinion of the Wii U?
I have played only the original Wii, but I really can't say much about that. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really know right now. Anyway, moving on to our next segment, which is DirectX Rising 3. The game I was referring to was Titanfall, which is a lot of people have been discussing, but Titanfall doesn't appeal to me very much, in my opinion. But it is also coming to PC and the Xbox 360, not the original Xbox, but the Xbox 360, and I think I don't think Titanfall looks too interesting to me. But that seems to be what a lot of people say they would get the Xbox One for. But
right.
I don't know. Sunset Overdrive looks interesting to me, but I feel like it might not be as great as it looks, and also that it may make its way over to PS4, since Insomniac Games is the one developing it, and they only develop PlayStation 4 exclusives for the most part, or PlayStation exclusives, not 4. But on to the next subject of matter. Um, Phil Fish has announced that Fez 2 is no longer in development and that he is retiring from video game development. Have you
Wow.
have you heard of Phil Fish?
No, I have not.
Well, there's an amazing news, but I'm like still hungover from the Steam sales. Like I got a Steam hangover. Um, I'm not actually hungover, but I am very much still enjoying the delights that the Steam sales brought me. BioShock Infinite Clash in the Clouds is now available on PSN, Xbox 360, and Steam as downloadable content for the BioShock Infinite standalone game. Meanwhile, Ken Levine has announced that all story-driven DLC for Infinite will be available before March 2014. You played BioShock Infinite, right?
Yes, I did.
All right. Did you play it to the end?
Yes.
Right. Yep. That was a great game.
Yes, it was.
It's my game of the year personally. Did you see? Have you seen what the new story-driven DLC is supposed to be about that comes out this year?
I'm really fascinated in the trailer, and I really cannot wait to see what unfolds in that DLC. I'm assuming it takes place in Rapture. That's what it
Yeah,
looked
it
like
does.
to me.
Yep.
So, I mean, that is fascinating to see normal people in Rapture other than what you saw in the very first Bioshock, which was frightening and disturbing to me.
Yeah, this is pre-Fallen Rapture that it's supposed to take place in. So it is it's Rapture before it had fallen to become a dystopia, and at this point it's still a utopia. And I'm really interested to see exactly how that operates as a city, and like that was the most intriguing part of the original BioShock was the setting and how they incorporated that into the game. So I'm really interested to see that. In the first part of the DLC, you play as Booker, along with Elizabeth, but in the second part, you play as Elizabeth.
Wow.
And I find that to be interesting because it's supposed to be a lot more difficult as Elizabeth since she's weaker and more fragile as a character, which
Great.
and also it's going to be harder, but also she can create tears, so
I would like to see how that works out.
I can't wait to see how that turns out in the DLC. You got the season pass, right, for Infinite?
Yeah, I did.
Yep, I did too. I haven't played Clash in the Clouds yet. I actually played it for a couple minutes, but then I haven't had a whole lot of time, but I'm more interested in the story-driven DLC myself. Sony has announced that Party Chat will be available for non-PlayStation Plus subscribers on PS4. I believe that was also a feature on the Xbox 360, if I'm right. Did you have Xbox? You had Xbox Live Gold, right?
Yeah.
You could without the Gold subscription, could you talk to people that were not playing the same game as you? Could you chat at all? Yeah, I thought so. But IGN made a huge deal about this, that Party Chat would be available for free users on PS4, but it was the same thing on Xbox 360. PlayStation 3 didn't have cross-game chat, so that was a pretty big issue for Xbox fanboys. But I knew the Vita has cross chat, so I knew that the PlayStation 4 would, and that it would be available for free users. And our second to final segment is Nintendo's Leave Luck to Heaven segment, and our first issue of business is that Activision has announced that 6 of their published titles are coming to Wii U this fall. Now, before anyone gets excited that 6 Activision titles are coming to Wii U, keep in mind that these releases include Call of Duty Ghosts, which is probably the best title on this list, since this list is quite awful. Skylanders Swap Force, which is like the third game in this series where you have to buy toys. You had to buy like $300 worth of toys to play a freaking game. Angry Birds Trilogy, which is a $40 version of a free game.
Wow.
Angry Birds Star Wars, which, again, is another $40 version of a free game. SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton's Robotic Revenge. I don't even want to talk about that. And Wipeout Create and Crash, which is just another, which is not as exciting as Wipeout on PlayStation, because Wipeout on the Wii is based on the ABC television show Wipeout. Sometimes I get confused and think that it's sci-fi futuristic racing, but it is not. And a new announcement community has been launched for Nintendo's Miiverse social network, which, according to many sources, suggests that this community is for Earthbound, by the way, and according to many sources, this suggests that a rather important news is coming for the Mother franchise. Did you play Earthbound on the Super NES?
No.
I just got it recently for Wii U. It's $10. It's like $130 on eBay. That's the cheapest you can get it for the Super NES right now, because it was such a rare game that didn't sell a whole lot, and it became a whole lot more popular like 10 years after its release. So Earthbound may be getting some news in the future, hopefully a sequel or something like that. Hopefully the Earthbound sequel, Mother 3, comes to the Wii U in the future. It never made its way to America on the Super NES, so I'd like to see some revisions of that game in the future. Anyway, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD for Wii U will cost consumers $49.99 at launch and may feature a new difficulty mode. I'll most likely be getting Wind Waker HD at some point, most likely not at its launch, maybe when it gets a little bit cheaper. $50 is kind of a lot to ask for a game very weak system compared to the real next-gen systems. And our discussion topic of the week is, can Wii U be saved? And with its weak sales, at only 160,000 systems sold globally in the past 3 months, is it possible for Nintendo's console to be saved? What would make you want to get a Wii U, Logan? What could Nintendo do to make you want to get a Wii U alongside your next generation console?
That's a hard question to answer. Well, I'm not quite sure. Is the Wii U console have better graphics, or is it kind of the same like the original Wii?
Well, the Wii U console is up to par with. It's more powerful than the Xbox 360 and PS4, and it's around the level of an entry level PC, I'd say. It's
wow.
So,
I don't really know. See, I'm not really into the whole Wii, but I'm guessing maybe just more variety of games. I mean, I don't know. That's a really tough question.
Yeah, sorry to bring that on you, but I was wondering what the everyday consumer would want in a Wii U, would want from Nintendo. Whether it be better marketing, more exclusive games, more third-party games, anything really. Like, just throw anything out there. But the Wii U does include the gamepad. Have you seen that before?
Yes.
Yeah, the Wii U gamepad allows for a living room DS-like experience where you're using the bottom screen to do other things, and you can also use the gamepad as like a second monitor. So when someone else is using the TV, you can use the Wii U gamepad in place of using the television to play your console, to play whatever game you'd like. But I think the problem is mostly the game lineup on the Wii U and the marketing, the way that Nintendo markets the Wii U. I don't see any ads for this system at all, and I don't see a whole lot of great games coming out in its future, and mostly third-party games where other people are publishing for the system that would typically publish multi-platform.
Right.
So, is that all you have to say about this?
About the Wii? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is the end of our podcast, and thanks everyone for listening. If you or someone you know would like to join me on the show at any time, feel free to contact our site by emailing me at the address info@b10.com. That's info @b-ten.com. And just a reminder, if you share this link to this podcast, whether it be the audio form or the video form, you could automatically be entered to win a free Steam code as well as free merchandise from Bangkok Blend. I hope you enjoyed listening to the show, and have a great remainder of your day, everyone.
My name's Brian, and I'm just trying to do my job without any crying. I ain't here to cause no trouble. I just want to do the big shuffle. Shuffle. That's right, that's a shuffle. It's a shiznit. Shiznit is a shuffle. Shuffle is a shiznit. That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Momo, a BB, a mama, a BB, a boo boo, a baba, a ha ha. I'm the papa. You the daddy. I don't wanna hear.